Taboo is the musical about Boy George's life, and a star that was in it recently was Julian Clary, the camp comic. And I was delighted to speak to him after a performance in November.
Who'd have thought I'd be in a musical, frankly? It's a dream come true.
You're looking very well, but rather different with a shaven head. That must have been a big decision for you.
Yes, I can thoroughly recommend it, especially if you're ginger.
You have a problem with ginger people, do you?
Well, yours is actually quite a fetching colour, isn't it? You happy with it?
No, not really.
Nature's gift.
I don't think I'd go bold, but a nice normal colour would be suitable, I think.
Yeah, well, we're not here to talk about you.
Well, let's talk about you then. The musical Taboo is on here at the venue. It's very intimate. Do you like that, being in touching distance of your audience?
I like it very much during the show. The only bit I don't like is the sort of clap-along, karma chameleon ending, where you can actually see who's clapping and who's not, and that feels a bit holiday camp to me, that moment. But as you know, actually, I think for the audience as well, it makes it a much more real and intimate occasion. What do you think of Boy George? Oh, I've always been a huge fan of Boy George because I like his voice apart from anything else, and you know, he and I have been round the block a few times, so it's fascinating to see him still be so creative after all he's been through, and actually to use everything he's been through to make something this wonderful.
One of your key sayings is "don't touch me." I think I'm right in saying that, aren't I?
Yes.
And they literally can touch you. Do you really object to people having intimacy when you're performing?
I don't like being touched by the general public, but fellow actors and bedfellows is fine. I'm not phobic about it. But it's frankly, it's just a saying that is meaningless. Really, I'm not that tactile. A lot of people, you know, kiss and hug and do all this, especially actors. I don't like it unless I know someone or I want to kiss them. You know.
Well, I can promise you I will not be kissing you nor hugging you this evening, so there's no problem there.
I don't need to call security.
I think not. Let's talk about next year. You're going and doing another tour. You've done several tours over the last, how many years have you been in the business?
Oh, I think it's about 23 years now or something. Before I do the tour, I'm doing pantomime in Woking. Let's not forget a plug for that. Yeah, and then I'm doing a tour called Natural Born Mincer, and I'm quite...
Sorry?
Natural Born Mincer. I'm quite excited about it. It's going to be very arty and visually stunning, I think.
Will it be classical music and such as?
No, don't be silly. It'll be camp old nonsense, but I've always favoured form above content, and with the shaved head, and I'm planning all these kind of fishy Mohican things without giving too much away. And I'm quite inspired by the clothes and the makeup from Taboo. So it's going to be interesting.
I was going to say, you mentioned doing pantomime. In places, this is a bit like a pantomime, isn't it? That kind of slapstick humour with the big frocks, and you have incredible makeup in this show.
Yeah, I like things where you can't overdo it. You know, there's no the director's not going to give me a note saying too much mascara or anything in this show. And I also like things where you break down the fourth wall, where you're not sort of pretending there's no one there. We know that the audience is there, and we know that we're all actors. So with the part of Leigh, because he was so anarchic, you can slip in and out of that convention quite nicely.
You've done huge theatres, and then you're here with 400 or 500 people. Which do you prefer? Do you like seeing the whites of people's eyes, or would you rather just perform to a mass of black?
This is, I guess, more satisfying maybe. I don't know, there's something about thousands of people applauding, should they choose to do so, that's lovely. And of course you get paid more if you're playing a big theatre, there's that factor. But I guess the answer is I love it all.
Would you do this again?
I would, yeah, should I be asked.
Julian Clary, thank you so much for talking to us today. Good luck with the pantomime and the tour next year, and thanks for talking to us.
Good luck to you and your family, and good luck with your career.
Do you think I need luck with my career?
That's all I'm saying, your time is up.
Julian Clary, who spoke to me in the autumn when he starred in Taboo at the venue in the West End of London. This is the magic of the musicals on Broadway with me, Alex Belfield, still live in New York today. And the big man from Taboo is back in the musical. Boy George plays Leigh Bowery, and he's back in the musical until January. And I was fortunate to speak to him recently after the show.
I wouldn't say I was the star of the show. I mean, the show's full of stars.
Well, but the show's about you. You've got to be the star of the show.
Well, actually, it's really about a lot of people. I mean, Marilyn, Steve Strange, Leigh Bowery, the part that I'm playing, which is I think, the fun part of the show, because you get to wear the most outrageous, costumes, and you get to walk amongst the crowd and terrify people, because when people are confronted with that kind of visual outrageousness, which Leigh, excelled at, they're just totally terrified. You could just see people saying, "Don't come near me, don't come near me," and of course you always go towards those ones.
Are you enjoying doing it? Because you're a very showbiz man, you're around the world DJing and things like that, but you're here every night when you're doing this.
It's quite funny having a kind of regular job again, because I know what I'm going to be doing for the next 4 or 5 weeks. So, plus I'm getting a wage slip, which I don't think I've had in at least 25 years. So that part of it is quite amusing.
How excited were you when this actually happened, the concept of Taboo, a musical about yourself? I mean, it must have been scary in the beginning. Did you ever think it would actually get on the stage?
I have to be honest and say that when Chris Renshaw, our director, approached me with the idea, I thought, I'll never see him again. He came and met me and we talked about the project, and I thought that's the end of that. And then, to his word, 6 weeks went by. He came back with a list of writers, and we chose Mark Davis, and it was on. I mean, it was just like full steam ahead, and a lot of credit has to go to Adam Kenwright, who I think put his neck on the line, at a time when theatre in London it's on the edge of its nerves. I think that's a good description.
Boy George starring in his own musical Taboo on at the Venue in Leicester Square in the West End of London.
The Alex Belfield In Conversation podcast with daisymedia.co.uk.
Alex Belfield.